Hi there, in today's lesson we're going to talk about note value. And note value is how many beats takes up a note in music. And let me pause here and just say really the importance of being able to read notes. I'm not teaching classical music. I don't teach classical music. I teach music for the purpose of leading in worship in a service, and oftentimes leading or teaching vocal parts is how I use reading sheet music. And so I think it's important that you understand how rhythm works so that you can teach effectively and so that you can recognize how the music should be played. I'll tell you a really quick story about that. I was actually helping with our Spanish church's choir practice one night. They were getting ready for an event, and I came in and I didn't realize that I was not just playing an instrument, but that I was actually going to be helping with the vocal parts. So there was a miscommunication there. And I got there and they said, we need you to help with the vocal parts on the song, and I didn't know the song. And they sat sheet music in front of me, and because I was able to read note value and because I was able to read the sheet music, I was able to play the parts. And so I think it's important that we have that skill, that ability to read and understand. But even if you play by ear, you never teach vocal parts, and you never really look at sheet music, it's really important for you to understand the concept of note and rest so that we can understand what we hear and how we can translate that into what we play, and even more importantly, communicate that to other people. So let's take a look at this really quickly. We're just going to talk about three note values today. We're going to talk about the quarter note. My marker is playing tricks on me. Let's try that again. Quarter note, there we go. Quarter note gets one beat. So if you remember from us doing the beats, tick, 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 each of those represents a quarter note. One beat, one beat, one beat, one beat. So that's what a quarter note gets. It looks like this. Something like that. It's got a note head, a note stem. It could look like that. It could also look like this. These both mean the same thing. Stem up or down, doesn't matter. And then the rest, it's kind of hard to draw, but I'll give it my best shot. It looks something like this. That's what a rest looks like. You oftentimes, I know when I'm writing rest and I'm doing something real quick, I'll just kind of make a Z. That's my version of a rest as well. So you'll see various versions of rest. And then the next note name that we're going to talk about is a half note. Half note gets two beats, and it looks like this. A half rest looks like this. Okay, kind of a mnemonic device, easy way to remember what the half rest looks like. I've always referred to it as it looks like a hat, half hat. And then the next one, the last one we're going to talk about is whole note. A whole note gets four beats. It doesn't have a stem, and it looks like this. Very similar to the half rest. But it's upside down. And so I was taught that the half rest looks like a hole in the ground. So that's a easy mnemonic device, easy way to remember the whole rest. So really important, really simple, right? Quarter note gets one beat, half note gets two beats, whole note gets four beats. So if we say we're going to sing that note for 4 beats, or we're going to sing a whole note, either of those mean the same thing. Half note, 2 beats. So let's look at some exercises, some examples of how we put this into practice. Okay, so we've got 3 examples here, and I'll walk you through these. First of all, let's take a look at the first one. We've got 2 measures in this first example. It's 4/4 time, so that means there's 4 beats per measure. So you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and there's only one note here, but we'll add that up and make sure that there's 4 beats per measure there. So if we remember from what we just talked about, each quarter note gets 1 beat. And so the way we would count this in music is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's really simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 beats per measure. Tick, 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 tick. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really that simple. Now if we take a look at this one, it's only got 3 notes in it. But remember, this one gets 1 beat, so that comes in on beat 1. This gets 1 beat, so it comes in on beat 2. This gets 2 beats. It comes in on beat 3. 3. We don't say 3, 4 because beat 4 is combined with beat 3. So the way we would count this measure is 1, 2, 3. So when we count this whole first row, it goes 1, 2, ready, count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And it's really that easy. Let's take a look at the second one. So in this case, we've got 2 half notes. Each of those get 2 beats. 2 half notes each get 2 beats. So this is going to be 1. This isn't going to be 2 because we're counting the beats in the measure. And since this one gets 1 and 2 combined into this 1 beat, it's going to be 1 and then 3. Just like that. So 1, 3, and how would we do this one? We start at 1, 1, and we just hold it all the way out. 1. Now what's really important is that we don't take away from the note. If this gets 4 beats, we want to make sure it gets all 4 beats. And when I teach new musicians how to count, I really stress the importance of giving the note the full value. So we can count this one starting from the beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 3, 1. All right. Now let's look at the final one here. You'll notice that I put this one in 3/4 time. So there's only 3 beats per measure instead of 4 like the first 2 examples. I'm going to go ahead and count this one out. It's 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 3. Now like we mentioned in our last lesson, time signature really dictates the feel of the song. And I've had students before that get used to playing in 4/4 time, and so they want to try to make 3/4 time feel like 4/4. 3/4 time is a different feel than 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. Okay? Now let's look at a few examples with rests. Okay, now we've got 3 examples, very similar to the last 3, but in these 3 examples, I used rests. So in the first one, I just replaced some notes, added some rests in there. So let's take a look. We've got quarter note, quarter rest, quarter note, quarter rest. Each of those get 1 beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 beats in the measure. Now the way that I count a rest when I'm counting out loud, I refer to rest with a tss sound. So 1, tss, 3, tss. Again, important to note that this is not beat 2. This is beat 2 in this measure. Beat 2 just happens to be silent. So if we were playing it, we would play 1, 3. And that might happen if you're playing something that has hits on the 1 and the 3. So 1, 3, 1, 3. I'm going to write that in. Let's take a look. 1, 3, 1, 3. So let's count it together again. 1, 2, ready, count. 1, 3, 1, 3. All right, let's go to the next one. I'm going to jump on the sides again. This one starts with a half note. Again, a half note gets 2 beats. We're going to start with this. It comes in on beat 1. So 1, and then we have a rest. It's a half rest. It gets 2 beats. So we go 1, and then this is a whole note, comes in on beat 1, and it carries out through the whole measure. 1. So if we were to count this off, 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 1. All right, good. Let's look at the last one here. We've got quarter note, quarter rest, quarter note. Again, 3/4 time, 3 beats in the measure. Half note gets 2 beats of rest, and then this comes in on beat 3. because this gets beat 1 and beat 2, combining it, and that comes in on 3. So if I were to count this, it would go 1, 3, 3. Okay, let's check this one out. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, count. 1, 3, 3. Again, 1, 3, 3. All right? And there's 3 examples. Now we're going to look at one song to wrap this up. Okay, so in this example, we've got Jesus Loves Me, and I've got all the note values written out on the board here. And so we can see we've got 4/4 time signature. Real quick, I want to point out on this 4/4 time signature. So we've talked about the top 4, meaning there's 4 beats per measure. And we can look through this really quickly. We can see there's 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 1, 2, 3, so that's 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, same thing, so all those follow the same pattern. We've got 2 beats plus 1 beat plus 1 beat, that's 4. Here we've got 1 beat plus 2 beats plus 1 rest, that's 4. 2 beats, 1 beat, that's 4. 1 beat plus 2 beats plus a rest, that's 4. We've got a whole note there at the end, that's 4 beats, and then 2 half notes, or a half note, 2 quarter notes, 2 quarter notes, a half note. Again, all of those have 4 beats, but let's talk about the bottom 4. We haven't talked about this thus far, but now that we know what a quarter note is, let's talk about the bottom 4. The bottom 4 tells us that the quarter note represents 1 beat. And that's what a time signature is. Top 4 tells us there's 4 beats per measure. Bottom 4 tells us that that symbol, the quarter note, gets 1 beat. And that's really important because later we'll see different types of time signatures with a different bottom number. That means something different. We'll talk about that in the next lesson. Okay, so let's walk through this really simply. If I were to count it, we know the melody of Jesus Loves Me, so I'm going to go ahead and count it with note numbers. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Right, so that's the first 2 measures. I just added the counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There we go, really simply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's the verse there of Jesus Loves Me, and I just wrote in the counts based off the rhythm that we see. Really important to know that certain songs do rhythms a little different way. So for instance, I've heard, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is strong. That's not what this music does here. And so when you're looking at vocal music and you want to play it or sing it just like the recording or just like the music says, it's really important that you can distinguish between what you might hear in your head from other versions to what this version is that everybody's singing from. So that's the verse. Let's look at the chorus. Chorus is a little different. So we start with a half note. It gets 2 beats. 1, 3, 4, 1. Okay, this one is beat 1. Half note comes in on beat 2. 1, 2. And then we've got a rest on beat 4. Because the half note gets beats 2 and 3. And then the rest on beat 4. And then 1, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay? 1, 3, 4, 1, 2. Instead of a rest like we have in this measure, we have beat 4. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then the double bar line at the end tells us we're at the end of the song. So I'm going to turn the metronome on, and we're going to count Jesus Loves Me out based off the rhythm that we see here, using a really strong, steady beat. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So that's it for today. You may wonder, man, this is really simple. Why is this important? Again, it's really important for you to understand rhythm and how it all works together. And as we get into more complex rhythms in the next couple of lessons, it's going to be really put it all together and help you understand the value of understanding rhythm and rhythm patterns. And we'll get into things a little more complicated like syncopation and some of those things that we see and feel in the music that we listen to and that we love. And in our very last lesson, lesson number 7, I'm going to just teach a lot of things that are going to pull all this together and make it make a lot of sense, but you got to have the fundamentals first. So stay tuned and look forward to sharing more with you.